The next page that you have are 3-year goals, and I have given you a sample of goal number 1. This has to do with differentiating instruction, and it's simply another example of how research was done so that there's a research-based rationale for this particular goal. And you can take your time to read that on your own as well. Now, the next page has to do with the commitment of all of the teachers in the school to do what they can to achieve the goals that have been determined by the school improvement team. So take a look at this. It's a grid. That's your next page. And let me tell you a little bit about how this document came to be. Once the school improvement team went back and forth to their individual grade levels to decide what the goals and action plans were, this one in particular has to do with working together to improve student achievement. That was the first goal goal sample that I shared with you. In order to determine what the action plans are, it needs to be done through the grade level or subject area team. So the school improvement team coordinated the effort, but the very specific details, and I will give you a couple of verbal examples a bit later, the meat of what classroom teachers have to do to improve student achievement needs to come from those classroom teachers. So once this plan was developed with the input of the classroom teachers, then the document was given to each grade level. Each grade level looked at each individual goal and action plan, and those are listed on the left of that handout. Action plan goal 2.1, which would be goal 2 action plan 1, all the way down to goal 2 action plan 27. And what each teacher, what each grade level did was look at all of those action plans and decide which of those action plans it was conceivable that the grade level, with their own content of course, age and grade level specific, which action plans each grade level could begin to work on. So in the kindergarten, if you look down the list, you'll see a star next to 2.2, 2.4, 2.5. Those under the K, kindergarten, are all of the action plans that in an age-appropriate way these teachers feel that they can begin working on. So for example, in the grade 4 ELA, students need to listen to a story that's read and then answer questions. So in kindergarten, it is very conceivable. You read a story to students and then you have them think back about details from the story. So that is an example of what you can take all across the grade levels. In this case, the school had grade K through 5. What were the action plans that each of those grade levels agreed they can begin to work on in their own classrooms? So that's important because the success on these standardized tests is not just based on the one teacher in the year that is giving the test. It needs to be something that an entire faculty understands and works on consistently in an age-appropriate and grade-level appropriate way. Also, I think it's important, and on the next sheet you'll see some of the conferences that I sent people to. The decision on whether or not teachers could go to a specific workshop or conference they wanted to go to included them being able to identify which of the school goals in the school improvement plan that learning at that conference or workshop would help them understand further, building their knowledge base specifically in areas that will help achieve the school improvement goals and action plans. So it's important that people realize that the school improvement plan is an active document. And what we do in our classrooms, in our training, all of it must be aligned with the expectations in the school improvement plan. The next sheet are goals, and in the box you'll see different aspects of one of the school improvement plans, and also a section for goals for teachers to have on their own. So what I ask people to do here is check off the goals or action plans that they specifically felt that they could work on in that following school year, and also gave them a place to set their own individual professional goals. You are going to work on a teacher self-assessment tool, and that is mentioned also at the end of this goal statement page. It's one way for you to consider handling a self-assessment if that ends up being part of what your school does. The next page gives the data on how many people included these various aspects of school improvement planning goals in their specific and personal goal statement page. So in other words, the first one, differentiated instruction, 25 teachers mark that as something they want to work on. And you can look at the rest all along the way. Now, why do we do this? It's because whenever possible, it is important to remind people that the school improvement plan, the goals and action plans are something that we expect to be implemented in every classroom and by every teacher. So all of these things, if the conference they want to go to is related to the school goals, whether or not that is the case, in their personal, I probably should say professional goals for the next school year, which of the goals are part of their planning consciously that they will work on. So all of those things are very important. Lastly, I want to give you some examples of student achievement action plans, because I want you to see that they're very specific. If you want something to be done, you need to be so clear about it. So for example, one of them, I don't have this for you intentionally because this was work done by teachers and I don't feel that I should just put it out there in cyberspace, but I will read a couple of them to you. To conduct time writing activities on a given topic. To conduct daily writing activities across the curriculum. To utilize graphic organizers as a pre-writing strategy in all academic areas. To teach and provide practice and test-taking strategies and parallel tasks in all academic areas. To utilize the speech language and a reading specialist to conduct whole class listening and reading activities. So this is just a very brief menu of the types of action plans that should be included because they are so specific. So when a teacher gets their copy of the school improvement plan, they know exactly what they have to do and what is their responsibility in their specific classroom. I'll give you a couple of examples also of goals and action plans in the differentiated instruction goal. You got the research on that in one of the previous pages. In this case, one of the action plans is to review essential content and skills responsibilities for each grade level. Explore and share tools for curriculum planning across content areas, including Bloom's taxonomy. Focus on strategies for grouping students. Develop a cadre of differentiating instruction mentors. So these also are specific but in a different way. It spells out what teachers will have to do to really wholeheartedly work toward the effective differentiation of instruction in their classrooms. I hope that these handouts will be helpful to you. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. School improvement planning, when effective, can really refine the classroom practice in every single class in your school. So plan for it wholeheartedly, use a research base, provide training, and support teachers as they begin to and continue to implement the goals and action plans in their class.